makes a difference in Milwaukee. Imagine if we invested more money in reading, in the arts, in language.
Just brief comment about reflecting back to our corrective action plan. We believe the issues that we have laid out there, and I encourage people to actually get a copy of it so you can take a look at it. Having mentorships and induction programs for new teachers, making sure that the curriculum is consistent across the district, extended learning time, community learning centers, after-school programming, and also early intervention programs where we intervene and deal with students' problems immediately, and instead of letting it wait and become more difficult over time. The department, through our work, has invested millions of dollars in these programs, and we will continue to support them. We will continue to insist that they are accomplished.
Okay, next question. Research tells us that when parents are involved, children do better in school. Currently, MPS board policy states that every school has to have a viable parent group and group governance council with 51% parents. Federal mandates that there has to be 2 representatives from every Title I school to be a member of the Title I District Advisory Council. Under the current board, these policies and mandates are not being followed. How are you going to ensure that every school has a PTA, working school governance council, and 2 representatives for the district advisory council?
That's a big part of the corrective action.
Right. Yeah, I think that we get audits of every school in MPS, so every 3 years we know what's happening. And when those schools are out of compliance, that's brought to us, and the principal has to come up with a plan to get back into compliance. So, you know, that it's certainly something that I see in the audits, that our schools are not all compliant, but that comes to our attention, and the principal has to develop a plan for making sure that they get into compliance. And I think the board is receptive to working with parents to make sure that each school is a part of that. I'll let the superintendent.
Again, this gets into the whole city-state argument that of our district for probably 15 years, where a lot of these decisions were made at the board level, but individual schools had the ability then to decide on how they would implement that at the school level. This is a positive thing that I see in the corrective action plan, that we're working closely with the parent groups. We're working closely now with central office and really making sure that every one of our schools have an active, viable governance council. That parents are involved, that the teachers are involved, that every school has an active functioning governance council. We're also working to expand the PTA, PTOs in our schools and looking at trying to get more parental involvement. We've just invested $2.3 million of stimulus funds in the district over the next 2 years to increase parental involvement in our lowest performing schools with the highest level of poverty. And that's to really expand research-based practices, the HIPAA and HIPAA program that we're working on. So we're really embracing with our money, with our action, to increase parental involvement. The research is very clear that with increased parental involvement, you close the achievement gap.
I think if there's one thing that we all agree on, it's the more parents are involved,